This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
T.S. Darbari removes the mask over Suresh Kalmadi by providing vital documents proving that he gave the go-ahead signal for the AM Films deal. Justice Govindarajan may have set things right for the schools, but parents are still clueless about fees already deposited. A statewide strike by TASMAC employees fizzes out. Business goes on as usual at most shops in this city. A bumpy ride may give you the lumbago or even cost a life, but you can now report an illegal speed breaker in your area. Porn films sell like hot cakes on the streets of Burma Bazaar under the very nose of a police station and a high court. And guess who's the new buddy on your wall? The Chennai Traffic Police joins the Net Club. This is News Tonight on NDTV Hindu. Good evening, I'm Evelyn Matthew. Let's also bring you the stories making national headlines. Former Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Arjun Singh speaks out, claims all responsibility for the tragedy that continues to rock Bhopal. The BJP questions the Prime Minister's statement on autonomy for Kashmir. Sparks fly in the Rajya Sabha as well. Asked about Mamata Banerjee's Lalgarh rally, P. Chidambaram says no one from the government should be involved with the Maoists. Barely 53 days for the big games, Delhi's Chief Minister inspects the roads after her deadline to clear debris expires. And a school in Kolkata demands fee from a father who lost his son to alleged corporal punishment. In the big news that's most disappointing, with almost 50 days for the Commonwealth Games to go, allegations and counter-allegations of corruption are only getting murkier. After T.S. Darbari was given the tick of termination, he has struck back, possibly at Suresh Kalmadi himself, whom he served as a close aide to. T.S. Darbari has now come out to reveal three vital details that tarnish Kalmadi's previous statements of defense. In a letter to the CEO of the organizing committee, Darbari claims that Kalmadi himself put his signature to the papers that led the clear path to the AM Films deal, and that Kalmadi was the only competent authority at that point to sign and to give the go-ahead signal for that controversial deal. Ironically, this is the same company that Kalmadi pretended never having heard of at his first press conference. Suresh Kalmadi earlier had produced letters from a Raju Sebastian claiming that AM Films had been recommended by the Indian High Commission. India House in London refuted the claim, saying the emails appeared doctored. NDTV has accessed the alleged emails to a director in the organizing committee. However, he has now denied having received the mails in the first place. And the man who sparked that recent twist in the tale, T.S. Darbari, spoke to group editor of NDTV, Barkha Dutt. Here's what he had to say.
What I'm saying is I was asked to go on leave, and when after, as per the Customs Act, one is if somebody gets something and takes your name, that he or she got it for you, you will be asked by the authorities to come and give your witness statement. And I gave my witness statement, and I was very clear about it, that I have nothing to do with that episode. These things are all plants, the way they are being done. So anyway, I have no further comments.
May I quote to you from your own correspondence where you talk about the chairman of the OC, which in this case happens to be Mr. Kalmadi, being the only competent authority to clear the contract, and there was no written contract with AM Films, and even pay 100% advance payment. This is from your own correspondence. So you are saying it was Suresh Kalmadi's decision.
I have not said this. Please don't put words into my mouth. I am not taking anybody's name. I am not blaming anybody. I am only blaming my destiny, and I am only blaming that I have been unnecessarily targeted. It's a motivated campaign against me for no involvement of mine.
Moving on to other news that's making headlines. In a major move by the government, the centre has approved the caste-based census, which will be implemented from December 2010. This decision was taken by a group of ministers that met in New Delhi today. And for more on that, our senior correspondent Peer Muhammad now joins us live from our newsroom. Peer, how important is something like this for a state like Tamil Nadu, which is widely known for its caste-based politics?
Yes, Evelyn, this is a major development for Tamil Nadu, particularly in the context of several parties, including the Patali Makkal Katchi demanding caste-based reservation, and they have conducted a huge rally in Chennai. They have got Lalu Prasad of Yadav of Rashtriya Janata Dal as the chief guest, and they have demanded that this should government should at least Tamil Nadu government should take the initiative to and initiate the steps for caste-based reservation. Caste-based census. In fact, the recent judgment by the Supreme Court in 69% verdict was hailed by all the political parties in Tamil Nadu because it gives a lot of room for OBCs. And this particular demand for caste-based census was mooted by Lalu Prasad, Mulayam Singh Yadav and Sarath Yadav particularly. And now immediately after the cabinet approved of caste-based census, Ramadas has welcomed it and thanked all those leaders, RJD leader, SP leader and Sarath Yadav for taking steps to for the success of this caste-based census. In February, when the ongoing census process will take into account caste also, which will have larger implications for Tamil Nadu, Evelyn.
Right, Preet, but do you also believe that this can actually have an impact at all in the assembly elections coming up in the state next year?
Yes, the assembly elections are due in May 2010 and PMK will definitely trumpet this as one of its successes, and even other parties like AIDMK, which in fact implemented this act for 69% quota. And said, Jayalalitha has been trumpeting that she has been the champion of social justice. He will also say that, I am also responsible for this, and I think the opposition particularly will take advantage of it in the assembly elections, particularly the PMK and the AIDMK, given the background that they have been quite vocal about it in the past.
All right, thanks very much indeed, Peer, for joining us with those details. Clearly, we will see a lot of political parties championing this recent development now. Now, over to other news. The TASMAC officials in the government have been creating quite a cocktail in the last few days to ensure that the strike organized by TASMAC workers turns into a mocktail, particularly after the strike got a support from a united opposition. From an indefinite strike to a one-day strike, the TASMAC officials first couldn't manage to keep the pressure up on the government, and even the one-day strike demanding job security lacked the true spirit.
Job security, pay on par with other government workers, weekly offs, yearly holidays and better incentives. These were some of the demands by the men who churn out the maximum revenue to the Tamil Nadu government. But the one-day token strike by the Tamil Nadu State Marketing Corporation workers lost fizz after a few hours, thanks to the alleged high-handedness of the police.
இன்றைக்கு நாங்கள் ஆர்ப்பாட்டம் நடத்துவதற்காக இங்க கலெக்டர் ஆபீஸ் முன்னாடி முறையாக நாங்கள் கமிஷனர் ஆபீஸ் முன்னாடி அனுமதி கேட்டோம். அனுமதி மறுக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. எனவே அதையும் மீறி நாங்கள் இந்த ஆர்ப்பாட்டம் டாஸ்மாக் ஊழியர்களுடைய அந்த கோரிக்கை நிறைவேறும் வரை எங்களுடைய போராட்டம் தொடரும் 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 என்பதை இதன் மூலம் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம். ஜனநாயகனுடைய காட்டாட்சி தர்பார்.
The strike was backed by the AIADMK, CPM, CPI, PMK and the MDMK. Not surprisingly, because it was during the AIADMK rule in the state that many of the workers were hired. The striking employees were reportedly told by the TASMAC officials that losses due to the strike should be borne by them.
வேலை நிறுத்தத்தில் ஈடுபட்ட டாஸ்மாக் தொழிலாளர்களை இந்த காட்டுமிராண்டித்தனமான அந்த ஆட்சி, கருணாநிதியுடைய ஆட்சி, அந்த தொழிலாளர்களை எல்லாம் சிறைப்பிடித்து மூடிய கடைகள் எல்லாம் ரவுடிகளை வைத்து காவல்துறை துணையோடு அந்த கடைகளை பூட்டி உடைத்துக் கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். ஆகவே விடுதலை செய்த கைது செய்த தொழிலாளர்களை உடனடியாக விடுவிக்க வேண்டும் என்று உள்துறை செயலாளர்களிடத்தில் இந்த கூட்டமைப்பினுடைய குழுவின் சார்பாக 4 சங்கங்களும் உள்துறை செயலாளரிடத்திலே மனு கொடுத்திருக்கிறோம்.
It is business as usual in most of the nearly 7,000 TASMAC retail outlets in Tamil Nadu. The opposition-backed one-day strike of TASMAC employees has fizzled out. DMK government has once again proved that it can put down strikes very easily. In Chennai, Peer Mohammed, NDTV Hindu.
Well, the power of the ruling party, they're doing the talking. Now, it's just not fake DVDs that are available aplenty on the streets of Chennai. It's also now become a hotbed of pornography. Every kind of porn, from XXX to those in Hindi, English and Tamil, are also sold illegally. But here's the shocker. Children who are all barely 18 years of age are also involved in peddling these DVDs, which sell like hotcakes in our city. Not only that, shopkeepers literally hound you to sell their wares. As our investigative reporter Simonish finds out, it's a case of porn everywhere, but not enough checks to rein in this illegal trade.
The streets of sin. In Burma Bazaar, minor children selling porn, all in the open. Sellers quite literally hound customers to sell pornography. Right under the nose of a police station and close to the old secretariat and even the High Court. These children involved in this illegal trade with impunity due to poverty. Unfortunately, the law does not precisely define obscenity, and such activities are hardly a priority for the men in khaki who are often accused of not even cracking down on prostitution rackets. In Chennai, Simonish for NDTV Hindu.
Well, quite rightfully called the street of sin, and it's quite a pity that those children linger there. Now, every time you go over a speed breaker in Chennai that's way too high or takes you by surprise, you've probably cursed the authorities. But guess what? In most cases, it's not the authorities to blame. It's much more than mere nuisance value. Almost 15% of accidents in the city are caused by irregular speed breakers that are laid on the city's roads, often by residents' associations without the clearance of the traffic police and the corporation. For all those who lay speed breakers on their own, our crime reporter Salim doesn't have very good news.
Seeing is believing. Here on Abiramipuram 4th Main Road, there are 4 speed breakers, almost every 10 meters, and they have allegedly been laid by the residents' welfare associations without clearance from the authorities and in clear violation of norms stipulated by the Indian Road Congress. Those who erect these structures without permission will face action.
They should not, and actually speed breakers are not advised, but most of the people, sometimes the resident association do resort to such kind of things on own volition. That kind of speed breaker only creates such kind of complications. It increases the traffic rather than slowing the speed and all.
According to Indian Road Congress standards, the central height of a speed breaker must not exceed 10 centimeters. The shape must be parabolic. The width must be at least 3.5 meters. It must be painted and illuminated. Warning signs coated with reflective paint must be placed 40 meters in advance, mentioning the desired speed at which the road hump can be negotiated. Most motorists who are forced to take this stretch have a litany of woes.
Yeah, of course, we face the back pain, surely. இந்த ஸ்பீட் பிரேக்கர் வந்து போட்டுருக்கிறது வந்து எச்சரிக்கை பலகை கிடையாது, திடீர்னு பார்க்குற மாதிரி இருக்குது. அதனால் வந்து சடனாக பிரேக் போட்டால் பின்னால் ஒரு வண்டிங்க முன்னாடி ஒன்று மோதிக்கிட்டோம். இப்போ நிறைய சண்டைங்க ஆக்சிடென்ட் நிறைய நடக்கிறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு தான் அதிகமாக இருக்குது.
இதால் என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா பேக் பெயின் வருது, வண்டி வந்து ஓட்டுற நமக்கும் கஷ்டப்படுது, வண்டிக்கும் டேமேஜ் ஆகுது.
Research by a professor of the Indian Institute of Technology reveals that poorly erected speed breakers led to 87 fatal accidents in Chennai last year.
Sometimes, we have come across cases where speed breakers have caused fatal accidents.
Now take a look at these speed breakers at the IIT campus. They meet the standards recommended by the Indian Road Congress.
Speed breakers in IIT is laid on norms, so it's more comfortable.
Ironically, a feature of road design that is supposed to save lives is proving to be counterproductive. In Chennai, Salim for NDTV Hindu.
Now, if you are a frequent netizen, reporting such areas with illegal speed breakers may have just become easier now. If you're a netbuck on Facebook, time to sit up, as you may have a new official buddy. It's none other than the Chennai Traffic Police themselves. So yes, you can now poke the Traffic Police on their very own Facebook page. That's all set to be launched officially on Independence Day. But looks they're already a hit. They have around 277 followers already, and many of them are giving the policemen some advice too, from feedback on their new speed rule to ideas on how to make the page better. Police, for their part, say they want to reach out to youngsters who are a majority of the population of two-wheeler riders on Chennai's roads.
Going to be interface between the police and public, actually traffic police and public, so that we will be able to know their problems, as well as we will be communicating about various information about traffic, for example diversions, the infrastructural facility, any modifications to be done. All these things we can inform the persons, and particularly I think it will catch the youth, because nowadays all the motorists, particularly two-wheelers, are mostly youths. So we'll be targeting the youths in particular.
Now, while one would have thought that the Justice Govindarajan Committee's announcement that the fee structure suggested by it will stay for this academic year would bring some respite to parents, it seems like the reverse is happening. Parents are livid that the schools are yet to clarify their stand, some schools even refusing paying back the excess fee collected at the start of the academic year.
வசூல் செய்யப்பட்ட கூடுதலான கட்டணத் தொகையை அந்தந்த மாணவர்களிடத்தில் திரும்ப ஒப்படைக்கணும் கல்வி நிறுவனங்கள். அரசு பரிந்துரைத்திருக்கிற கட்டணத் தொகையை மட்டும்தான் வசூல் செய்யணும். அப்படி கூடுதலா வசூல் செய்யப்பட்டிருந்தால் அதை திருப்பி ஒப்படைக்கணும்.
Returning the question is not there, because based on the fees that we collected, we have made payment for the teachers, we have provided an increment to the teachers, we have done a lot of other developmental activities for which we have made use of this fund, and therefore returning may not be possible.
The round 2 of the war of words between parents and private schools has begun. A day after Justice Govindarajan announced that the fee structure recommended by the committee led by him will stay for the year, parents want their money back. The money they gave as excess fee collected by private schools. Here are some questions parents want answers for. When will the schools refund excess fees collected? Will the government ensure that no school collects more than recommended? Who will monitor whether the quality of education suffers?
கோவிந்தராஜன் குழு கமிட்டி என்ன சொல்லியிருக்குன்னா, ஏதோ கல்வி கட்டணம் பழைய கட்டணம் தான் கட்ட வேண்டும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்குது. அந்த பழைய கட்டணம்ங்கிறது என்னங்கிறது எங்களுக்கே தெரியல. அதனால கவர்மெண்ட் என்ன அறிவிச்சிருக்குதோ அந்த கல்வி கட்டணத்தை எல்லா பள்ளிகள்லையும் அந்தந்த கல்வி அதிகாரிகள் போய் நோட்டீஸ் போர்டில் ஒட்டி அது ஒரு சீல் மாதிரி ஒன்று போட்டு விட்டாங்கன்னா எங்களை மாதிரி உள்ள பேரண்ட்ஸுக்கு அதை பார்த்துட்டு என்ன ஏதுன்னு கேட்கறதுக்கும் எங்களுக்கு இது இருக்குது.
Educationalists say schools that are supported by trusts should not depend on fees collected from students.
Commercial interest cannot be allowed in running a school. The school has to be a charitable one. They can appeal to the government to provide them some subsidy, or they can go for a philanthropist to give them necessary funds, because they run a school in a very good manner. If they are not able to do that, they cannot be in the field. They have to go out of the field.
Some parents NDTV Hindu met have threatened to move court if the excess fees is not refunded. In Chennai, Minal Shah, NDTV Hindu.
Well, parents still an unhappy lot. This is News Tonight. Still ahead, what morning is this for a father who has still not come to terms with his son's death? A school still torments the man. And US auto giant General Motors gets ready and steady to hit the roads on their new set of Hot Wheels.